Once upon a time, in a bright green field, there lived a little horse. He was small and very, very cute. His name was Pocoto. Pocoto loved to run and jump. He went, Pocoto, Pocoto, Pocoto. His little hooves tapped the ground with joy. Pocoto, Pocoto, Pocoto. But Pocoto had something very special. It was a yellow rain boot. Yes, a big, shiny yellow rain boot. It was his favorite thing, and it looked like a little sun on his hoof. Pocoto loved his yellow rain boot. With it, he could go anywhere without getting wet. One day, the sky turned gray. Dark, fluffy clouds came quietly across the sky. Then the rain began to fall. Drip, drip, drip on the roof. Tap, tap, tap. How fun, thought Pocoto, his little eyes shining. Rain is exciting. He ran to the window. He looked outside with great curiosity. He saw lots of puddles, big, shiny puddles, puddles that went plop, plop as the raindrops fell. He saw the trees sway gently. The wind whispered through the leaves. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's adventure time, he neighed softly, almost in a whisper. His little heart beat faster with excitement. Pocoto picked up his yellow rain boot. He carefully slipped it onto his hoof. The yellow boot made a happy sound with every step. Chop, chop. It was soft and cozy inside and super comfortable. Then he ran outside. Pocoto, 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 he sang loudly to the wind. The field was all wet now. The green grass was covered in sparkling drops of water. The red, blue, and yellow flowers looked even brighter. The raindrops looked like tiny diamonds in nature. Then Pocoto saw a very, very big puddle. It was huge, like a tiny shining lake in the middle of the field. The water reflected the gray sky and the fluffy clouds. What a challenge, he thought, wrinkling his little forehead. He had never seen such a big puddle before. A tiny bit of fear squeezed his tummy. His little hooves trembled just a little in the grass. Can I really cross this puddle? He whispered to himself. The water looked cold and deep, but his yellow rain boot was right there, strong and bright and ready for anything. Yellow rain boot, how wonderful, he said with a big smile. It seemed to say, without speaking, come on, Pocoto, you can do it. I'll help you. So he took a deep breath. He counted slowly to 3. 1, 2, 3. He took one little step. A tiny step into the water. Splash! The water splashed against the boot. How fun! He laughed. Then he took another step and another. Pocoto, Pocoto, Pocoto. He walked forward bravely. The water splashed around him. Plop, plop, plop. But the yellow rain boot was strong. It protected his hoof from the cold. He kept going, a little farther and a little farther. Pocoto, 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 right through the middle of the giant puddle. The water almost reached his knees, but he did not stop. He was being very brave. And then he made it across the giant puddle. What a victory! Pocoto felt his heart burst with joy and pride. He really was brave. After crossing the puddle, Pocoto kept going. Pocoto, Pocoto, Pocoto. Now he felt like a real explorer. Soon he found a new path. It was covered with smooth white stones, and nearby was a little forest full of tall green trees. The trees swayed gently in the breeze. Their leaves whispered, shh, 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 like they were sharing a secret. Then he heard another sound, a little closer now. Gok, gok, gok. It was a stream, a narrow stream, but the water rushed quickly. It bubbled and splashed with white foam. The water was clear and sparkly. You could see colorful little stones at the bottom. there was a little bridge, a thin wooden bridge. It looked old and a little shaky. Another challenge, he thought again. The bridge wobbled just a little. The stream below sounded fast and noisy. The drop down to the water looked a bit scary for his tiny hooves. Then a stronger gust of wind blew. The bridge shook just a little more and creaked softly. Is it safe for me to cross?" he whispered, feeling a little worried. But then he looked at his yellow rain boot. It was his most faithful friend, his brave little adventurer helper. It shone even brighter on his hoof. "Yellow rain boot, how wonderful!" he said again, stronger this time, and he felt brave once more. He took another deep breath. Then he stepped onto the bridge, slowly, very, very carefully. One hoof on the wood, then the other. Pokoto, pokoto, pokoto. But this time, much softer. He paid attention to every little step. The bridge wobbled, just a little, but it wobbled. He imagined holding on tightly to invisible handrails beside him. He looked straight ahead and then at his yellow rain boot. It was steady. It wasn't afraid. One step, another step, and one more. He was almost there. His breathing was a little fast now. His little hooves stood firmly on the wood. He kept going. He did not give up. And then he made it. He hopped onto the grass on the other side. Phew, what a relief. He smiled from ear to ear. His yellow rain boot had helped him again. He truly was a brave and adventurous little horse. He jumped with joy and shouted, "Pokoto, pokoto, pokoto!" Then something magical happened. The sun began to peek out again. The raindrops stopped falling. The sky turned soft blue. And do you know what Pokoto saw? A rainbow! A huge, beautiful rainbow stretched across the sky. Red, orange, yellow as bright as his boot, green like the grass, blue like the sky, indigo, and magical violet. It was the most beautiful rainbow Pokoto had ever seen in his whole life. He stood in the prettiest part of the field. He had crossed the giant puddle. He had crossed the rushing stream. He had made it over the wobbly bridge, all with his yellow rain boot. And that day he learned something very, very important. Even when we feel a little afraid inside, we can still be very brave. We can face big challenges, and his yellow rain boot helped him become a wonderful little adventurer. "Pokoto, pokoto, pokoto," he neighed proudly to the rainbow. "I am brave." Then he trotted back home happy, tired from all his adventures, but very, very proud of himself. He cleaned his yellow rain boot carefully and placed it back in its special little corner. He knew more adventures would come on other rainy days, or sunny ones too, and he would always be ready, with his yellow rain boot and his heart full of courage, because the courage was always inside him, in every step, in every jump. And the yellow rain boot was his favorite and most loyal little helper. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you won't miss any new adventures.